Welcome to Cooking with YouBored. Well, something like that anyway. As you know from watching the show, we don't like to get too complex about things. So today we're going to do simple scrambled eggs. The twist though is we're going to do it two ways. So the first way is, I think, the way that most people would cook them. I mean, for scrambled eggs, quick, easy, tasty, you know, that's the basis behind it. So high heat scrambled eggs. We're going to prepare the eggs the same way. So 2 eggs, scrambled in a bowl, fried. The difference between that and the other method though is that we're going to do a low and slow. When I say low and slow, I don't mean barbecue 24 hours, you know, the eggs aren't going to, well, they are actually pull apart as you tear them. Basically it just means heat down low or lower. And it does take longer to cook, but the result is meant to be a lot better. It's meant to be light and fluffy and all those lovely chefy terms that you see on TV. So I admit, as much as I, used to be a chef, used to be a cook, my go-to is quick scrambled eggs, high heat, blast it out, pop it on some toast, good to go. Nothing fancy. So I'm going to be very interested to see whether it is a substantial difference doing them on low heat, or whether I'm just going to revert back to my fast heat, quick time, eat them and go. All right, so firstly, I've got some eggs, as you can probably tell. I have become a little bit snobbish with my eggs, so I don't get the usual, the home brandy ones. I have got some regional ones, and these ones have got lots of gold medal-y things on here, which I think is a bit of false advertising. I think they've just basically used medals to make it look like they've got medals, but they don't really. All right, so 2 eggs in each. 2. Now what we're going to do also is we're going to put a bit of a garnish. I've got some chives from the garden, so I'm not going to do that during the cooking process. I'm just going to put that on top, mainly because it looks a little bit prettier. And we like pretty. Pretty's nice. All right, 2 eggs. Now the other thing that I note as well is I used to be just a simple fork whisk type of guy, but it is recommended that you use a whisk, and I have used it in the past, and it is better. You get air into it, they're light and they're fluffy and they're texture and all that type of stuff. So that's what we're going to go for now. I'm not too sure about the cracking the eggs on a flat surface, which I have also seen around the place. It tends to get a bit messy for me. I prefer to use the back of my knife or something, but today, flat surface, we'll just run with that. All right, so I'm going to beat one of these in front of you. Have a look at the eggs, if we can see them without pouring out. Can't really, never mind, bad angle of camera. We'll get to that, I'll change some angles. So whisk as much as we can. Really simple prep, don't have to do too much. And then we're going to go straight into cooking, because eggs, this should be a quick show. Eggs are quick. No need to make it any longer than it has to be. I do eat a lot of eggs. I love them. They're great. Usually I put a bit of cheese through or some other things, but today we're only going to be using salt and pepper. Just keep it easy, and so that it's nice and uniform between the two so we can compare. All right, I think that's about enough. So no milk or anything like that. Advice has been don't use milk. You can use a little bit. Water apparently works better than milk. It's something about this, it creates a steaming process while you're cooking. Yeah, okay. Maybe we'll try that another day. But for today, 2 eggs scrambled. It really can't get any simpler than that. Even if you are, or if you feel within yourself that you are a terrible cook, I don't think you can stuff that up. That's pretty easy stuff. All right, so salt and pepper. We're gonna be using that. And again, oil, and it's only lightly oiling the pan. We're using a non-stick, we don't use too much. We're using the rice bran oil, the one I use for everything. Swear by it, it's good stuff. Cooking time, pan time, keep watching. Okay, so over at the hot plate, having a look, you can probably, well, maybe not, but you can just see there's a little blue flame around. We're doing the low and slow version first. Heat setting, well, we're going It looks like it's about a third way from the lowest setting. Let's run with that. You're meant to be sort of medium low for this sort of thing, so we don't want to go too low. All right, now it's already been heating for a little bit, so I'll just put a little bit of the oil in. That should do, not too much, just to make it interesting. Just coat the pan before we put the eggs in. That should be ample. Yeah, it looks like it's running away pretty well, which means it's pretty warm at the moment. All right, so just one last swish around with the eggs. As you can see, nicely beaten. It's got some frothy bits on top. And let's chuck it in. Bit of a sizzle. Get all that bit out. Right. Now let's get a wooden spoon. I always like to use a wooden spoon, in particular when I'm using non-stick pans. I'm just going to turn that down a bit. For me, that's cooking a bit faster than I was expecting. And I'm just going to keep stirring all through the process, because we don't want any major weird chunkness happening. Now it should be relatively fast, so it's really only a minute process, whether it's super hot pan or just a lukewarm pan. And when I say lukewarm, I mean you wouldn't want to put your hand on it or anything. You're gonna get burns. So let's be sensible, people. All right, well, this is cooking really fast already. Now I haven't put any seasoning or anything like that. I'm leaving that till the very end. Look, I reckon that's pretty much done, don't you? Jeez, that was rather quick. This is almost, I reckon the pan may have been a little bit hot for this, so let's call this the fast one. And we'll do it slowly, put it on low afterwards. Probably the pan I'm using is very good for heat, so that's done. So I'm going to take that off right now, and we're going to start up with the other one. Hopefully it won't be quite as hot. Put that straight in. Yeah, as I thought, a little bit too much oil, but that's okay. We'll work it out. All right, so this is definitely down lower than before, so should take a little bit more time before we can see that fluffy goodness coming through. Yeah, you can just see it on the bottom of the pan, just getting that little cooked colour to it. Yeah, no, this is better. All right, so the other one was planned to be the slow cook. Things always go to plan on YouBored. I guess it's not boring then. Yeah, not boring. All right, let's just spread that. Yes, this is what I'm looking for. This is the stuff. So there's always a bit of debate when you should add salt and pepper as well. In most cases, I like to season a little bit as I go, but as we're doing a very specific sort of test here, yeah, this is what we're looking for. I think it's best that we just worry about that afterwards and let it be as, dare I say it, eggy as possible. That's pretty good. I actually had some very good scrambled eggs for breakfast yesterday. I was away with my family on a little winery excursion, and I had some at a cafe, which was overtaken by bike riders. Popular riding bikes now. Everyone watches the Tour de France. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. Yeah, I reckon that's got the texture we're looking for. It's got that little bit of a glisten. You can see it's still pretty light and fluffy though, and we don't want to cook it too far, otherwise it's just gonna get a little bit over, so I'm happy with that. All right, let's finish up and present, and let's see how these suckers taste. Oh yeah. Okay, here we've got our 2 eggs. Question, can you tell which one was the quick cook and what was the long cook? So the high cook and the low cook. Probably just got a hint by the way I did that then. Wasn't super secretive. Anyway, so this one here, this is the first one we cook. So this is the high cook. And this bad boy over here is the low cook. So this one is meant to be sumptuous and fantastic, and this is meant to be dry and worn out. They look pretty similar to me. There's not much difference there. So anyway, let's just quickly chop up a couple of little chives, just for a bit of flavour, because that's how I like it. That's it, that's all we need. Pop that aside. Don't need the knife anymore. Pop at the side as well. Actually, we'll just salt and pepper first because we want to get that underneath. A little bit of salt, nothing crazy. Little bit of pepper. Oh yeah, it's nice. It's very nice. Very nice. And I'm not going to salt bay this. I'm just going to sprinkle from close. I know it's a salt and pepper thing, but you get the idea. Okay, bit more. Nothing wrong with a bit of chive green action. Okay, fork. I'm very impressed that I remembered a fork. All right, so we'll try the quick version first because that's what I'm used to. Let's see what it's like. Tastes like scrambled eggs. Tastes good. That's fine. Could use a little bit more salt, but tastes good. Okay. Now, the piece de resistance. Hopefully it is as good and will change my method of cooking scrambled eggs forever and ever. Yeah, okay, it's moister. It's definitely moister. Yep. This one is definitely lacking flavour in terms of you know that sort of egg goodness. That egg goodness. Yeah, this one's better. It's not. You know, this isn't burnt rubbish, and this is immaculate. Gold flakes. It's not a massive difference, but it's probably enough. I mean, for the extra minute, maybe the extra minute that it took to cook this one as compared to that one, probably worth doing this one, I'd say. It's not bad. I mean, sure, a lot of the scrambled eggs that I have had in terms of cooked properly do have larger chunks than this. I probably stir a little bit too vigorously. That's the kind of guy I am. But it's tasty. If it's stirred slowly, you have bigger pieces, but it's not necessary. This is good stuff. Yeah. It's got sort of a creaminess that this one doesn't have. It almost tastes like you've added some cream to it, or something or other. It's good stuff. It's worth it. I think it's worth it. Give it a try at home. Post below, if you can, and see what you think. See if you think cooking on the lowest heat on if you've got a gas stove. Obviously, put it on 1 if you're looking at induction or ceramic or some other magical cooking device that I haven't heard of before. But that's the way. That's good. Nice. Make sure you get good eggs too. Good eggs is important. But I'm going to eat both of them. There's no way I'm going to waste it. It's good stuff. Good stuff. Be interesting to see whether the result is magnified if you put more eggs into the mix. That might be something to look at. Another thing I would also like to try is, again, there are a couple of YouTube videos out there. Will I be original? I might get the original. The water cooking, where you basically just pour the scrambled eggs into water. Yeah, it sounds closely to poaching to me, but scrambled instead of, anyway. Might try that at some point. That's meant to be just revolutionary. But that's for another story. Get onto the low slow, that's good. It's worth it for the extra minute. I mean, if you don't have the extra minute, who doesn't have an extra minute? Go for that, but low slow, it's good, it's worth it. Breakfast, lunch, dinner, let's face it, I eat them a lot. I'm sure you do too. Scrambled eggs, low and slow, YouBored style. Have a try.